on that same trip, that same Indian Ocean trip, I saw my first wild sea turtle. And again, this was an image that we were looking for some whales to watch one day. One of those days when you've got a hydrophone in the water, you can't hear a sperm whale click, you're on lookout all day, there's nothing, it's just blue, no sign of life anywhere. And towards the end of the afternoon, when we had this chant, very silly football chant, that we'd stand on the front of the boat and go, "Come on, you whales! Come on!" Never worked, but it doesn't work. And we saw in the water a green turtle, about that size. So maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 years old, something like that. Because they get up to about that size, green turtles. And it was swimming in a straight line, very determinedly, clearly, absolutely knew where it was going. And that just fascinated me. The idea of this relatively little creature out in the middle of, to coin a cliche, the featureless ocean. For that animal, it wasn't a featureless ocean. There were signs and signals all around it, somehow, that were helping it to navigate. And I saw turtles subsequently in lots of places, hawksbills and green turtles. I saw them in lovely lagoons in the Seychelles, in Aldabra, which is the biggest coral atoll in the world and has wonderful little mangrove lagoons and things, where you see the sea turtles swimming on the bottom, great big grown-up ones. And I'd seen turtles coming up the beaches to lay their eggs. I've never been in the right place at the right time to see the babies, though. Really maddening. And so when I came to write this book about turtles, I decided I wanted to write a book about turtles. I brought the idea to my publisher, who said, "Ugh, reptiles, nobody wants to read about those." And I was so cross. Then I thought, right, I don't care what you say, I'm going to go away and write it anyway. So I went away and wrote this book about turtles, and what I found was that actually, at the time I wrote it, which is quite a long time ago now, it's about 12 years ago, we don't know much about turtles. They're actually terribly mysterious. That stuff that we see on the telly of little turtles skittering down the beach, or somebody letting them free, it always makes me laugh when you see somebody letting them free. Let go the little turtle into the water, and just out of shot there's a shark. End of story. 99% of turtles end up in something's stomach. But that's really, that's really all we know about them. They go down the beach and then they disappear off into nowhere. What do? Where do they go? No idea, really. And then 30 years later, they come back and lay their eggs on the same beach. So every little turtle that swims away from the beach takes one very, very, very important thing with it. Now, I'm sure many of you have read the book so that you know what this thing is. But of course, it's the memory of that beach. And it is born with the ability to navigate. The ability to navigate by the stars, the ability to feel the Earth's magnetic field, the ability to smell and taste subtle differences in the chemistry of different parts of the ocean. And that all imprints on that little turtle as it's swimming away from its beach, and stays inside it, in its head, until somewhere down the line, 30 years later, that memory switches on and guides it back to the beach where it was born. And that idea of a memory is what gave me the beginning of this book. So once again, I'll just read you a little bit. Far, far out to sea, land is only a memory, and empty sky touches the water. And then, of course, at the end of the book, what it allowed me to do was, but now she dives under the waves and swims and swims and swims out into the arms of the ocean. Far, far out to sea, land becomes a memory, waiting to wake in the head of the little turtle. So once again, the whole of that book really came from that one image of seeing this little turtle, half-grown turtle, swimming in the ocean, and knowing that in its head was this memory of the beach where it was born, and that one day that memory would guide it back.